Thank you for joining me. I'm Juan Lee, trader and founder of Prosperity Trade. In this video, I want to talk about Senseonics and is it breaking out of that penny stock category? Will it become a mid cap or a large cap stock? Hopefully, eventually it will. You're going to want to watch this video. Okay, so let's ask, what is a penny stock? Right now, why is this company, Senseonics, why is it considered a penny stock? So we'll look at Investopedia. A penny stock typically refers to the stock of a small company that trades less than $5 per share. Penny stocks trade on large exchanges such as the New York Stock Exchange. Most trade via over-the-counter or OTC or OTCBB. So first, let's discuss what exactly is a penny stock. So according to Investopedia, a penny stock typically refers to the stock of a small company that trades for less than $5 per share. Though some penny stocks trade on large exchanges such as the New York Stock Exchange, most trade via over-the-counter. So OTC stocks. We'll discuss OTC stocks in another video. But right now, let's talk about penny stocks. Basically, anything trading under $5 and has a certain market cap is considered a penny stock. Now, what we know about penny stocks is most of them fail, and most investors, most big institutional investors, don't add them to their portfolios. They may speculate, they may short some, but it's not a typically very highly sought out type of investment. It comes with so much risk. So here they talk about penny stocks considered anything that's in the past. Penny stocks were considered any stocks that were traded less than $1 per share. SEC has modified that to include shares trading below $5. So what's the issue with penny stocks? So one of the issues is fluctuation in price. That's why it's such a high risk. You can buy a stock for $3, and because the float is so low and the float are the shares circulating, and it can have hype that day, it can spike up $30, $40, $50, $60 in one day. And that happens sometimes. And you can buy a stock at $5 and it can go to zero. So, you know, it just all depends. Like, nobody knows this. It's hard to anticipate what the risk is versus the reward, as opposed to a stable, legit company that has steady free cash flow, that has steady revenue, that has some sort of moat, that has something in the market where people know that this is a stable company and they're going to be around for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And I'm just looking for 12% growth on my cash. I'm looking for a 15%. If there's more, there's more. Because why is that so important? Having that 11, 12%, beating the S&P, those small percentages over 30 years accumulate so much extra cash for you, so much returns. So that's why investors are looking for undervalued stocks that have the potential of gaining 12%, 13% per year. And even higher is always better, obviously. So penny stocks are extremely risky. They're extremely volatile. If you trade over the counter, sometimes, you know, you jump in a position, let's say $1, and it takes long to fill. OTCs are even worse. You know, some of those stocks trade for sub pennies, like 0.001, kind of like altcoins, couple pennies. And there's people trying to buy a couple 100,000 in position, and they buy it at, let's say, 1 penny. And because there's not enough traders, by the time they buy, it's all the way up to eight pennies that they've bought. You know, they jump in at one price because they think it's good, but there's nobody selling at that price. So it goes to the next, to the next, to the next, and it just fills the whole order till wherever it gets to. It can get to 7 cents, 6 cents. So now you have a couple 100,000 shares at 5 penny, let's say average. And the only person that can buy that or wants to buy that, the only person that's willing to buy that is selling at 2 pennies. So you just jumped in a trade with a couple 100,000 shares, and you're already down 3 cents. And those 3 cents, if you have a couple 100,000 shares, makes a big difference. So that's the risk with OTC stock trading. But in the past, you know, the OTC was so hot where people would buy a few 100,000 shares and it would go up 10 cents and they made a ton of money. And it was kind of like that same altcoin, crypto altcoin type of mentality where we buy these sub penny stocks and it's going to make me 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in a few minutes. It's extremely risky. You could make money, but you could also lose a lot of money. It's not for me. OTC and penny stocks are a little bit different. Penny stocks aren't as difficult to get into, and as OTC and or doesn't have as much slippage. You can get into a penny stock at a certain price. Like right now, you can buy Senseonics. It's considered a penny stock. It's trading at 3 something, and you'll jump in with a few thousand shares, and there's plenty of people that are willing to sell, and there's plenty of people that are willing to buy at that price. I found another article here of the most successful penny stocks. So out of the thousands of penny stocks, there's only been a very few that made it to that next phase. So Monster being one of them. So in 1997, you could have bought shares of Monster for just 2 cents. It was a true penny stock. And now this company is trading for $95. It's a success story. It made it out of the penny stock. And it if you were bullish and you knew something back then, you made a ton of money, which most people, when it's trading at this price, 2 cents, they're not thinking long term. Oh yeah, Monster's gonna blow up. There might be some people, but it's very rare to find someone that would be able to anticipate something like that. Usually you have to see growth. You have to see. I'm sure by the time they reached $4, $5, $7, and people were seeing that how popular Monster drinks are and how they keep expanding, then they started to bring attention. But it definitely didn't have, or I'm just assuming it definitely didn't have attention at 2 cents. Then Apple, who would have seen that coming, right? Apple is the single largest company in the world with a valuation exceeding of $2 trillion. But is it true that Apple was once a penny stock? Technically, the answer is yes, but there's a few mathematical tricks. It's because they split 4-1, 7-1. So, their price was a lot cheaper. But Apple's original IPO was $22 a share, and they split, so it was a lot cheaper. But just think about it. Look how cheap it was and how it's trading now. If you could have gotten in, it's considered a success. AMD at one point, the company with shares price was $2, and we see how hot AMD is now. Plug is another one. The stock broke above $5 per share in 2020, ran all the way up to 75 in 2021, was considered a penny stock. Ford once was at $2 per share, now it's at 12. BlackBerry also 2020 below 5, it was above 147 at one point, then went below $10, went 5. Siri is another one. I know True Religion, I don't think is on that list, but True Religion is also another penny stock that made it out. AXSM's Therapeutics is at 51, but it was traded at between $2 and $5. Workers Group traded as low as $1.88, and it's trading at $12. Amazon shares could have been had for just $1.50. Now it's see the prices of Amazon. So those are some success stories, but it's very few. We're talking about a handful out of thousands and thousands. It's a needle in the haystack. It's extremely to identify the signs that early when it's 2 pennies, a couple dollars. But there are some times when it gets to a point where it's had constant years of revenue. The company's doing things to put themselves in position for the next 5 years. They're attacking a market. They're going to do something differently. Their revenue's growing. It's starting to bring hype. I'm getting the feeling that this is early for Senseonics, and in the next 5 years, it's going to make this list. This is pure hypothesis. If this is, I could be totally wrong, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with it. I'm not telling you to trade it. This is how I feel. I'm just looking at this company. I'm looking at what they're addressing, right? Glucose monitoring. How many people have diabetes? It's a big issue, and it's so uncomfortable. It's so difficult to have the lifestyle where you have to count insulin, you have to prick yourself and count your blood and then adjust your insulin, and you have to have these devices that got to get changed out every 10 days, and it's such a difficult lifestyle. I can only imagine. So they're coming out with the device that you can pop it on, pop it off. If you're at the beach, pop it off. The monitor is under your skin, and it's not going to be affected. You can go swimming, you can live a normal lifestyle. Then you just pop it back on over the monitor, and you can monitor your glucose on your phone. Eventually, they're going to partner up and where the insulin would automatically be administered according to your glucose reading. So they're already having success overseas. So that's one good thing. They're coming with something totally new to disrupt a market that's dominated by some heavy hitters. There's Dexcom, there's Abbott, there's Medtronic. There's some heavy hitters. There's some big competition, some people they have to go to battle with. But if they can just grasp a small market share, they get their foot in the door. I think that they have such a good product that eventually their market share will grow and grow over time. It's not going to be overnight. Even if this gets hype and it has a short squeeze, I want to hold this for a long time because this is a long-term play for me. So right now, the market share of continuous glucose monitoring is dominated by Dexcom, and for good reasons. Dexcom is a great company, great business, very well managed, pristine financials, just overall a great company. But Senseonics is coming out with something different. They're coming out with 180 days continuous glucose monitor. Right now, you have to change out the Dexcom every 14 days. Your Senseonics every 180 days. They already have a timeline that in 2024 they want to have continuous glucose monitoring for 365 days, meaning you only have to go to the doctor once and get it changed out. They partnered up with Essentia, which is going to help with all the marketing, the social media marketing, and just get their business. They already have a history of successful type marketing. And every day I'm just seeing new articles, like for example, the Motley Fool, and I don't think this is new, but the Motley Fool, they said that Senseonics could be gearing up for a monstrous run higher, 1,000+ returns for their shareholders. So they talked about Senseonics in this sense here, and they just say positive things, just basic things, that everything I've said in the videos. And I just opened up Webull the other day, and I saw that Newbridge Financial Service, and I looked into them. They're not a huge firm. Newbridge Financial Services, they've added Senseonics to their holdings. And like I said, it's not a huge firm. It's not like major investors, but it's the point is that it's slowly getting recognized. It's slowly not being looked at as just a typical meme stock type of penny stock. And even where people were shorting it in the past, the short float has decreased quite a bit over the last month because people are starting to look at this company differently. And that's why I titled it Senseonics and the transition. I think they're transitioning. I think they're just starting to break out of this penny stock kind of title and eventually will become one of the major players in the continuous glucose monitoring business. And it can drop $1, $1.50, but I think overall, if nothing changes, if they have success, if they get FDA approval for the 180 day, and then they start working on the 365, and they continue basically doing what they're doing right now, they're doing everything right. Their revenue has been growing. They're partnering up with the right people. They have a great management team. So they're doing everything that they can and to make sure that they're going to be here for the long term. And if we look at the chart, it's, all the way since December of last year, it's just been on an uptrend. It's spiked up 538, dropped down, spiked up, and it's just been on an uptrend for a while. And, I'm not even going to go too into technical analysis with this company. I am bullish on this company, and I do have this in my portfolio, and this is just a long-term play for me. So that's my position on Senseonics. I'm still bullish. Anything new comes out, I will have a video. You can look at my past. I've done several videos comparing it to Dexcom, to Abbott, Medtronic, why I feel like they have an edge. You can watch some of my past videos. But as news comes, as anything new comes up with this company, I'm definitely going to make a video. I just want to closely follow this company as much as possible. I think it's a great company. I think it's early. I think even if it drops, even if it doesn't work out, the risk versus reward is extremely high on the reward side versus the risk. Because if it drops and let's say it just goes back to the regular lows of a dollar something, you know, you lose a dollar something. Or that obviously if you have 10,000 shares, that's $10,000. I understand that. But you know, if you just buy 1,000 shares or whatever and you're just risking a certain amount, I think in the next few years, there's no reason why that shouldn't 8x or 9x. I think it's a great company. I think they're doing all the right moves. They're transitioning out of that penny stock, and I'm bullish on this. Do your own due diligence. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and see you on the next video.